We're moving out of the light. Hello everyone, today is Sunday, December 6th, and I'm starting a reading vlog. I originally intended for this to be a weekend reading vlog, and I was going to read over Saturday or Sunday, or Friday, Saturday or Sunday, but I ended up reading Spoiler Alert by Olivia Dade. I think I started it like Thursday, and it continued into Saturday, and spoiler alert, for spoiler alerts, I loved it, gave it 5 out of 5 stars, but because of that, I didn't want to stop reading it to do this vlog, even though I had already planned to do it on the weekend. So I think we're just gonna try and do maybe just a 48-hour reading vlog. We are currently at 1:30 on a Sunday. I don't know why I'm starting this clip for a 48-hour reading vlog when I actually have to edit right after this, but I did want to start my introduction. I am going to be reading Christmas romance novellas. I originally had this idea because I got approved for His Holiday Crush by Kari Z on NetGalley. This is a male-male romance for Christmas. I don't know much about it, but for whatever reason, I was drawn to it. This is a 200-page, according to Goodreads, novella. 200 is basically my cutoff, personally, for novellas. I'm pretty sure it probably goes up to like 250, but 200 to 250, around there. This is a 200-page novella. I'm very excited to get to it. This actually will be coming out on the 14th, I believe, of December, according to NetGalley, even though I think the 14th is a Monday, and books usually come out on Tuesdays, but it's self-published, so who knows. But I'm very excited to get to that one. So, because I wanted to read that one, and I have a couple other romance novellas on my, want to read list, I figured, let's make a readathon from it. So not only am I going to be reading His Holiday Crush, I am also going to be reading Wrapped Up in You by Talia Hibbert. This is a Kobo original. I literally downloaded the Kobo app for this book. I have nothing else on my Kobo app because I've never used it before, but I needed it. So this is Talia Hibbert. She is very famous for her interracial romances, and I'm very excited for this one. There is, like I said, a Christmas romance. And there's cats on the cover as well. So obviously, you hooked me. I need to read this. This one's 127 pages according to Goodreads. So again, a pretty good novella size. I'm also planning on reading Mangoes and Mistletoe by Adriana Herrera. This is a female-female romance with a baking competition. I'm very excited. I've heard really good things about it lately, so I had to do this one as well. And this one's 152 pages according to Goodreads. So again, pretty good size-wise. Now, that is originally where I was going to stop. I was only going to read these 3 Christmas romance novellas. However, in the meantime of me brainstorming this sort of reading vlog, I watched a video from Isabel at Happy For Now, and she recommended One Bed for Christmas by Jackie Lau. I have other books by Jackie Lau that I want to read that I've heard are really, really good, and this one, I don't know, just sounded amazing. I can't fully remember what she talked about for it. I will leave her channel and hopefully that video linked down below for you guys, but I picked this up as well. I think it was on sale or something, or very, very cheap, and this one is 94 pages. So this is the shortest one, so of course I was like, yes, let's add that in there. So I have 4 Christmas novellas that I am hoping to read in the next, 48 hours. We're gonna say it's a 48-hour reading vlog. I'm taking my time with this. We will see how it goes, especially because I'm also technically doing the 25 days of manga, and so I'm reading a volume of manga every day, and I haven't read my volume of manga for today yet either. But Presley is currently taking a nap. I'm going to be editing my video for tomorrow, and I will probably check back in with you guys once I start actually reading the books I'm supposed to be reading for this vlog. Okay, so it is 2:45 now. I have finished editing my video, getting it exported from video editing software, and it's now currently uploading on YouTube to come out tomorrow. So I can now take a break from all that and read. Presley is still currently sleeping. Thank you so much. I love when he actually sleeps for more than just like an hour at a time. But I'm gonna go out there and watch him sleep and read. I think I am actually going to start with His Holiday Crush because it is a NetGalley arc that I need to read anyway, and also my longest book. It's only 200 pages, but it is my longest book, so I think I do want to get it out of the way, and I will check back in with you guys later. Hi, baby. Okay, it is just about 5 o'clock and I will be starting some dinner prep soon, but I did want to let you know that I did end up reading about 50 minutes of His Holiday Crush, which I believe in my Kindle app, because that's where I have it downloaded, it's like 29%. So one other thing that I guess I just want to mention is I do use Bookly, which is, so some of the stuff that you're going to be hearing me talk about today is going to be because of this Bookly app. Yeah, the camera. So I have all of my books on here, and it'll show you how much I've read, how many pages, because I track timing-wise on Bookly. Now, I am reading these as ebooks, and my Kindle does track the time as well, but this also proves to me that Bookly is pretty good with estimating time, because right now, Bookly is saying that this book will take me 2 hours, 3 minutes, and 28 seconds to finish, which is very on the nose. Whereas in Kindle, it's saying it'll take me 1 hour and 56 minutes. So Kindle is usually pretty good as well, but they're both saying close to 2 hours. You can't have the camera. You can watch. It's okay. It's okay. He's mad that I wouldn't let him hold the camera. It's gonna be okay. But also, I have not read my manga yet today for the 25 days of manga. So I think I'm going to, in the middle of prepping things, read that. I'm currently reading the Love Me, Love Me Not series. So while it is technically like a shoujo sort of romantic element type of situation, it is not a holiday romance, and I'm not reading it for this vlog. But I will be reading a manga every day. So I do need to at least devote a little bit of time to that. But I also did want to talk about the story for a little bit. So we follow our main character of Max, and then there's also the love interest, but I guess we also get point of views, thank you, from him as well. Oh, did he get it smudged? Maybe. From Nikki or Dominic. And basically our main character of Max is a high-profile lawyer, or is at least trying to get up to the high-profile-ness in his lawyer law firm. It's a law firm. And he's in the middle of this big deal, but he has promised his friend that he's going to go back to their small town for, you know, Christmas, or maybe it's not necessarily Christmas, but the Christmas holidays, because his friend is getting a divorce from his wife, and he has 2 young girls, and he's like an uncle to them. Thank you. So he decides that he's going to go back for one night only. However, on his way there, it starts snowing, and he almost hits a deer. However, he doesn't hit the deer. He ends up hitting a snowbank instead, and he basically is stranded there. Whereas Nikki, or Dominic, some people call him Nikki, which is probably like his younger name, but Max is calling him Dominic. He is now a cop in the town. Thank you. But we want to see us. Yes, we want to see us. Thank you. Thank you. He is now a cop in the town. He is an ex-soldier. I don't remember if they specified what branch of the military he was from, but he is also Hal's younger brother. Hal is Max's friend who he's going back to visit. It is definitely reading very much like a Hallmark movie, so a little bit cheesy, not as much connected to the characters as I wish I had, but we might do more. I still have a little bit less than 3/4 of the book to read, so we might get a little bit more connection to the characters. One thing that I do want to mention, because it's bugged me a little bit, is Hal has 2 young daughters. One is 8 and one is 5, and the 5-year-old is going through some issues because, you know, the divorce, the mom like abandoned her kids basically, so she is not speaking. At first I thought the author just didn't realize that 5-year-olds know how to talk, but there is an explanation for it. But the 8-year-old, the first time that we really see her mentioned and sort of get to know her, she's on a phone call to Max. And I highlighted the passage because it was one of those things where I was just like, this is a little bit off. But so she says, "I wanted to call you, Max. Daddy said he talked to you, but he forgot to let me talk to you. So I found your picture in his phone and pushed it." She's 8. she would know how a phone works. She's not just going to push somebody's picture in a phone. She's 8. Kids these days, I mean, you see him trying to steal my phone. Kids these days with the technology, it just felt like she was written younger than 8. And so unless you're full-on writing like a middle grade story, I do feel like sometimes people that are writing more adult or new adult type of books do write children not quite age appropriate. So we will see. There's been a couple other times where, again, it just felt slightly young, but she has been better now since we've gotten to the actual like small town and got to see the kids a little bit more. But that's where we are. Apparently we're gonna have romance ensuing soon. We've had a little bit of like hints of not necessarily feelings but attraction from both guys so far. So yeah, we're, you know, in between 1/4 and 1/3 of the way through the book, and I will definitely read more tonight, but I need to put some time for that manga. Good morning and happy Monday. I'm about 67% through His Holiday Crush. I was really hoping to finish it yesterday, but by the time Presley went to bed, which was sort of late for whatever reason, he didn't actually fall asleep until almost 9. I read until about 10:30, and then I was just way too tired. So I'm about 2/3 of the way through the book. You know how I said it was like a Hallmark movie? Parts of it still sort of feel like that. However, we did get some sexual content in the book. I think we've had like 2 like major sexual scenes so far, which is not necessarily bad. I usually want a connection to the characters before we get to those kind of scenes, and I do actually feel like the author's trying to give us those connections. Our character of Dominic, who is the ex-soldier, I don't know, again, hi baby, which military branch it was. He has PTSD, and there was something going on in the town with Max, like his dad, I think, used to be mayor, and so he had issues coming back to the town as well, but they're growing closer together, which, you know, is a good thing. However, the sexual content, I don't know, maybe because I felt like it was sort of like a Hallmark movie-esque, even though those usually don't have, you know, sexual content, I thought it was gonna be nice and fluffy and loving and like that kind of thing. They went hard, and by that what I mean is that one of our characters really likes to be in control. I don't think it's necessarily dom sub, but it has leanings that way, and they definitely talk about kink a little bit in the second instance, and so that was not something I was expecting. That is not something that I'm necessarily wanting from this book, just because everything else was definitely feeling more of that Hallmark movie type of thing. I'm definitely going to be finishing it this morning. I'm waiting for breakfast to be done cooking. We are doing pumpkin cinnamon rolls, the ones from like the tube obviously, but like you can only get the pumpkin flavored cinnamon rolls this time of year, and I actually only found them in my grocery store like last week, whereas usually I feel like, especially last year, I think we got them closer to around like the beginning of November, like in between Halloween and Thanksgiving. I feel like they popped up, and then they went on sale closer to Christmas because of the fact that like the expiration dates. The expiration dates on these ones are like December 30th, so I do feel like they're probably gonna go on sale eventually. Like you can get them pretty darn cheap. We didn't get these ones cheap. I just really wanted them because I was missing them. But yeah, we're doing pumpkin cinnamon rolls for breakfast, and I'm very excited. And I am excited to finish this book. I don't think it's gonna be a full 5 stars at all, just because I am having some issues with it, but it's not bad. So it's just a me problem, I think. But I am loving the like Christmassy aspect to it, and obviously I have 3 more books to read that have that Christmassy aspect, so I think this is going to be a pretty good couple days. Okay, so it is now 10 a.m. I have just finished His Holiday Crush, and I think I'm going to end up giving it like 3 stars. It is possible it's closer to a 3.5, but it's nowhere near a 4, so I think I'm going to go with 3 stars for now. It's really just that juxtaposition between something that I was really expecting to be more Hallmark movie-esque, especially as we're starting the book, and those sort of plot lines, and the really intense sexual scenes. It was just not something I was expecting. I also did feel that the writing style was just not quite something that I was really into. We basically got surface level with the characters, and while I do feel like the author was trying to give us more, especially with like the PTSD representation and that kind of stuff, it was glossed over a little bit too much, I feel like. If you're really gonna put that in your book, I feel like maybe she needed to do a little bit more, is that your block? Research for it. It was not bad. I would probably try out more from this author in the future, and if you're really looking for something, yes, that is cute as well as very steamy, you probably would like this. But yeah, that's my update for now. Like I said, it's just after 10, so we're doing pretty well on time. I do need to film today. I'm hoping to film at least 2 videos because I'm actually going to be doing the 12 days of Bookmas later in the month. So basically posting a video every day from December 14th through the 25th. And while I have, I think, 1 video filmed for that already, which has not been edited yet, and I do have a couple things that I won't actually be able to film until closer to when I want to post them, I want to try and get stuff pre-filmed as much as possible. So I think Presley's probably going to have to help me because Leon is currently working from home in the office, but I have a couple videos planned out already that I do want to do. So I think we're going to try and film those first, and then I will pick another book to start. Okay, so we just had lunch. It's actually like 1:30. Leon's doing dishes. I got this guy right here. We did film 2 of the videos that I wanted to do for the 12 days of Bookmas that I will be doing. Presley helped with those, and then he immediately went to sleep at like 11. So he slept for a nap, an early nap, for only about an hour and a half. So he might go down for a nap again later. But while he was asleep for that hour and a half, I did some CC stuff on YouTube. So basically, the video that I actually ended up posting today never had auto CC actually go on the video. Usually it only takes like 30 minutes, 45 minutes for a normal sized video of mine, so anywhere between 10 to 20 minutes, to have the CC go up. And it never did. Last night I just really didn't want to deal with it, so I left it hoping it would pop up by this morning. It didn't. So what that meant is I actually have to type in all the captions. YouTube's captioning system right now is horrible. It doesn't let you like type and enter as you go because it only has like a certain amount per caption, and you can adjust it, but it doesn't allow you to do it as easy as the old system used to be. So in that like hour and a half, a little bit less than that actually, but in that time of him taking a nap, please don't stop, I got through about 9 minutes of captioning. 9 minutes in an hour and a half. So I do also want to read my manga for today because I need to do that. But I also need to pick a book to start for this one because I've only read 1 out of 4 books, and we are now officially 24 hours in. It is 1:30 now. Officially 1:30, officially 24 hours in, and I've done 1 out of 4 books. So I think I might just go in order. I really considered doing the One Bed for Christmas because it's only like 90 something pages, but I also really want to pick up Wrapped Up in You because that was another reason why I decided to do this actual video, because I had already pre-ordered that and I just haven't read it yet because I was going to do this video. So I think that's what we're going to do. I think I might try and read my manga first and then jump into Wrapped Up in You, but like that's probably the next one I'm going to do. Okay, and so it is now going on 6 p.m. We're about to have dinner, but I did actually end up finishing Wrapped Up in You by Talia Hibbert. I think I'm giving it 3 stars, which is the same rating as the first book, but I think I'm actually slightly more disappointed in this one, only insofar as the fact that I've actually read a Talia Hibbert before. I read Get a Life, Chloe Brown earlier this year. Absolutely loved it, like 5 out of 5 stars. It was a revelation. Like, I read the whole thing in like almost one sitting at night. I stayed up late to read that. And so I was just expecting more. I know that this is a novella. It's only like 127 pages or something like that. And according to my Bookly, it only took me like an hour and 17 minutes total to read it. I basically read during 2 of Presley's naps because he actually ended up taking 2 naps today. But it didn't feel like a romance to me. So this one follows Will and Abby. Will is somebody who is basically like a Captain America. He's like Captain X or something like that. he's British, but he had moved to the States so that he could be an actor, I guess. And then there's Abby, who I don't know exactly what she does, but she has friends from work. I just can't remember what her actual job is. But they were neighbors as they grew up, and so they all go to Abby's grandmother's house for Christmas every year. So he and his mom, and then like her and her brothers and her mom, they all go to her grandmother's house. And we learn quite early on that Will has been like in love with her for years. They are both over 30 years old, and we come to discover pretty recently in this book as well that Abby had gotten a divorce a couple years ago, and so this is the year that he has decided to make his feelings known, and she pushes him off so much. And the thing is, she also has feelings for him that she's also had for years. We do have to deal a lot with her trust issues and anxieties, and so we're just dealing with a lot of heavy topics, but there's like no actual romance. Them discovering that they have feelings seems like it happened when they were in like middle school or high school, and it just didn't give me any like actual romance stuff that I wanted. Like I said, this book is only like 127 pages, but it took us to the 88% mark for them to actually like decide they were maybe going to be a couple. Like, it was just so much internal reflection and him asking to like go out with her and her saying no, and I don't want it to make it seem like he's pushing himself on her. There is a lot of good consent and everything on this, but she keeps bringing it up almost. Like, they go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth so much. And then we get an epilogue that's like a year later, and they're together, and that is the one and only time they have sex. I don't necessarily need sex on the page in my books, even in my romance books, but I know some of you guys out there do, and it's literally just thrown in the epilogue. And so, yeah, I don't know, it seems like it was billed as a Christmas romance. Yeah, so like the description on Goodreads says, William Reed is nothing special except for his billion-dollar acting career and his, you know, face. Apparently it's a good one. Winning Sexiest Man Alive was nice, but this Christmas he has more important goals in mind, like finally winning over his best friend's little sister, the super smart and kind of scary Abby Farrell. When a blizzard leaves Will and Abby alone at Grandma Farrell's house, if bunking with 27 pets counts as alone, it's the perfect opportunity to pull off a Christmas miracle. Convincing clever, frosty Abby to give Will a chance will take more than mistletoe, but hiding his lifelong crush on her is no longer an option. The thing is, the blizzard doesn't happen until the very last chapter before the epilogue. They don't actually get snowed in. There's other people with them. I don't want to like spoil things and the actual like what's going on, but the summary is not indicative of what this is about. It's not really what I would consider a romance. It just doesn't give me any of those feelings. And so now that I'm saying this, I gave it 3 stars because I really do like the writing style, but with me thinking on it, I actually think I liked his holiday crush better. And while that wasn't perfect, it was a 3 stars. So I don't necessarily dislike this one a lot. I just don't think it's billed the right way. And so I was not in the right headspace for this. I also feel like with how the heavy topics are, I probably would want a more lengthier book. So maybe it's more of like a 2.5. I don't want to say it's a full-on 2 because I try to reserve those for like books that I really don't like and had issues with. And I didn't like have too many issues except for it's not what it should be. Okay, I need to stop rambling. We're gonna go have dinner, and then I will probably try to read another book tonight, but I might not talk to you guys until tomorrow. Good morning. Are you trying to get up on the couch, but you can't? Like that leg, what are you doing, dude? There we are. You're okay. Good morning and happy Tuesday. So I actually read another one of my books last night. I went for the short option, so I actually read One Bed for Christmas by Jackie Lau. This one was like 94 pages. It literally only took me like 57 minutes total to read it. And I know this for sure because of my Bookly app. But I actually enjoyed this one the most so far. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. It was a little bit cheesy at times, but I don't know, there was something cute about it at the same time. It had quite a bit of sex scenes in there, and they were actually really, really well done. I'm picky with my sex scenes, and I really want a connection to the characters when that stuff comes up, and I really did like it. This one basically follows our main characters of Caitlin and Wes. They had met like 12 years ago in college when Caitlin opened a door and hit Wes in the head, and he fell like immediately in love with her, and so he's been not necessarily pining for a while because he just really thought that he was never going to have a chance with her. And we start off the book with her building, or at least her building, it could be other places, having the power out because of New York and snow and all that kind of stuff. So the only person that's really in town for her to bunk with is Wes. Her parents, I believe, are like in Hong Kong for the holidays. I really did like the fact that both of our main characters are Asian. I haven't had that in any of the books that I've read so far. And yeah, it's really, really adorable. I did think that it obviously progressed a little bit quickly. Obviously, I don't think it progressed too quickly with Wes because we are told and we get to see a little bit that he's been actually in love with her for like 12 years. However, she has no feelings for him, or at least has not realized any feelings for him at the beginning of this book. Short story, novella. At the beginning of this novella, but she does eventually have those feelings. I did think the third act breakup was a little bit unneeded, only insofar as the fact that like this is a 94-page book. It's less than 100 pages. However, because of that as well, it was resolved pretty quickly, and I did like the resolution. And this is a prequel novella to a series by Jackie Lau, and I actually now do want to pick up the first book in the series. I'm very intrigued by it. But yeah, so pretty good. I do need to film a couple videos today, but I'm only giving myself until 1:30 to finish the last book I have, which is Mangoes and Mistletoe by Adriana Herrera, because of the fact that I'm doing this as a 48-hour reading vlog. So I think my first thing that I'm going to try to do is actually hi baby, finish that book, start and finish it. I have not started it yet. We'll let Presley maybe watch some TV while I do that. Can I have a kiss? Thank you. And then I will talk to you guys after I'm done with that and close out this vlog, and then hopefully film my videos. Okay, so it is a little bit past 12. We will be having lunch soon, and I'm almost halfway through Mangoes and Mistletoe. I have not been getting as much reading done. I mean, I'm doing pretty okay. I've gotten through like around 47%, which I think is around 71 pages of the book. And I'm actually really liking it so far. I love the writing style, and I like our characters. One of the main characters' name is Sully, and then the other one is Kaseya. They had a slight pronunciation in the book, and I don't think I'm saying it right. But Kaseya is a little bit more put offish with any sort of relationship aspect. She obviously finds Sully attractive, Sully finds her attractive, but Kaseya is like very much adamant trying to win this competition, and I understand her motivations, but at the same time I was wishing for a little bit more like cutesiness, which I'm sure we'll get there eventually, but otherwise it's really, really well written. I think this might be my favorite, just depending on how it ends, but we're gonna be having lunch soon, and Presley is getting tired, so he was sitting on my lap watching The Five Little Ducks, basically. We were watching like nursery rhymes, kids songs, that kind of stuff, and he's trying to fall asleep. We don't want that. We want to eat first, so I'm definitely gonna have to take a break from my book, at least for a little while, so that we can do that. However, because I'm only almost to halfway, Bookly and my Kindle app are both saying that I have about 50 minutes left to read, which is not crazy, but that means I'm definitely going to be cutting it down to the wire for my 1:30 cutoff that I was giving myself for a 48-hour readathon. I'm for sure going to finish this, and I will talk about it. I'm hoping we can get in under 1:30 p.m., but we shall see. But we need him to stay awake. stay awake. And just like that, I have now finished Mangoes and Mistletoe by Adriana Herrera. It is actually 2:18 right now, so I did go over a little bit, mostly because the last time I talked to you guys, I ended like 47% of the way through the book, and then Presley was cranky, and then we had lunch, and then I put Presley down for a nap. He's currently sleeping, but that means I didn't actually continue reading the book until about 1:30 when I should have been done. But that does mean that I finished the second half of the book much quicker than the first half. This should definitely tell you that when you have a kid hanging all over you and you're trying to read, it definitely slows down your reading time. I read so much better when he's sleeping, either nap time or bedtime. But I think I'm gonna give this one 4 stars. I think it's my favorite. There were some parts that I love the writing, I love the characters, but I think it's mostly because it is a novella. I was actually wishing for a little bit more development in the like middle to end of the story, especially around like the third act breakup. Almost all of these stories had that thing. It's a trope in romance. A lot of the stories have that, and so I didn't feel the connection to that as much. The sex scenes, because there were sex scenes in here, were pretty darn good. One thing I will say, and this is definitely a me problem, but there's been multiple books in this reading vlog where they have dirty talk during the sex, and that is just something that is too cringy for me. It just takes me out of it so much. Like, I can read the sex scenes and be perfectly fine, but as soon as you have your characters doing too much dirty talk, it really just takes me out of it. So we did have quite a bit of dirty talk in here, so that brought it down a little bit for me. And then also one other issue, again just for me, is that because it is a female-female romance, we had 2 female characters. They're both Dominican, and I don't know if that's the whole thing, the fact that they're both the same gender and they're both from the same cultural background, but every other chapter basically would be one character and then the other. But there were multiple times where I don't think my brain flipped the switch to be like, oh yeah, we were switching from Sully to Quisqueya, and so I would still think we were in Sully's point of view, and then it wasn't, and something in the middle of the chapter would be like jarring to my brain and be like, oh yeah, I didn't switch over, and then it would happen again. It happened multiple times where I don't know, they just didn't have distinct enough voices for me to really be like, oh yes, I know who we're following. But otherwise, I really love the writing style, and I just sort of wished it was longer. So I think I'm gonna definitely have to look up more of Adriana Herrera's books and see if maybe she has more novel length books, because I really did enjoy myself. And then that's it. Again, went slightly over my 48-hour prediction, but I read 4 Christmas novellas, and overall, pretty good. My highest one is probably going to be Mangoes and Mistletoe, which I gave a 4. Right under that, at like still a 4, is going to be One Bed for Christmas. Then we have His Holiday Crush, which is a pretty solid 3. And then finally we have Wrapped Up in You, which I do think is probably closer to a 2.5. But I had fun doing this. I hope you guys had fun watching. If you did, give it a thumbs up to let me know. And then I will also be doing the 12 Days of Bookmas starting on December 14th, going through December 25th. So I will see you then. Bye!